Have you ever promised yourself, today I'll stay calm, and then one text, one driver, one email torches your mood? You're halfway through a rant before you even realize it. I've been there too late to a meeting. Someone cuts me off, coffee everywhere, and my mind screams, "How dare you?" In that moment, it felt like they made me angry, but they didn't. My story did. That is the doorway into a calmer life. The story you add to events is the fuel for your fire. Change the story, and the fire dies down. Today, you'll train that skill so you become unbothered, not numb, not passive calm, clear, and effective. Unbothered doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care wisely. Your nervous system is steady. Your mind is clear. Your actions are principled. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotion. It's about mastering the judgments and choices that follow emotion, so feelings become signals, not masters. Imagine the difference between being dragged by your reaction and choosing your response. That is the muscle we'll build together. Epictetus said, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the opinions they have about things." Anger begins as a signal and impression, a felt surge. It becomes destructive when we instantly agree with the first story our mind throws up. The practical skill is simple to describe and powerful to use. Pause, inspect, choose. Thoughts are like push notifications. You don't have to tap every one. Each time you refrain from tapping, each time you breathe and choose your next move, you're writing a different story about who you are. Let's ask a hard question. What does anger actually buy you? It costs you clarity by narrowing your thinking. It hurts relationships as your tone turns sharp and your words land like shrapnel. It damages outcomes because you aim at payback, not progress. And it takes a toll on your health. Stress chemistry is expensive. There is a better way. Calm, focused, values-driven action. Keep the edge. Lose the damage. To do that, start with the one thing that puts you back in the driver's seat. Control. Sort reality into 3 buckets. First, what is fully up to you? Your judgments, your intentions, your choices, your actions. Second, what is not up to you? Other people, the past, random events. Third, what is partly up to you? Your reputation, your plans. Even your health outcomes, things you influence, but don't control. The promise is this: invest energy only where it changes something. That's the unbothered life. Think of your biggest trigger this month. Name 3 things you truly control in it. Your tone, your timing, your next step. Name 3 things you don't. Their opinion, the past, the entire outcome. Feel the relief of releasing what was never yours. When you stop negotiating with the uncontrollable, your anger loses its favorite hiding spot. Now, train the discipline of assent. An impression arrives. They disrespected me. Before you agree, ask, is this a fact or my story? Say quietly, an impression has arrived. I don't have to believe it. Verify the data. What do I actually know? What else could be true? This respectful hesitation is freedom. Right now, picture a recent trigger and whisper, impression, not fact. Breathe into the space that opens. In that space, you'll find options you couldn't see before. With outcomes and other people demoted from the driver's seat, what guides you forward? Virtue. The Stoics point to 4. Wisdom, justice, courage, temperance. Use them as a living decision filter. Ask, what's the wise move here? What's fair? What would courage do? What's the measured, temperate action? Make this your scoreboard. Not, did I win? But did I act with virtue? The more you keep score this way, the less anyone can knock you off center. Let's demote externals. Status, convenience, praise. These are what Stoics called preferred indifference. Nice to have, not necessary for a good life. Missing the train? Preferred indifferent. A snide comment? Preferred indifferent. Whether you keep your character, that's necessary. When you downshift your expectations about externals, Annoyances lose their leverage over you. Expect delays. Expect noise. Expect imperfection, not with cynicism, but with calm readiness. When you're not surprised, you're not hijacked. Now, the in-the-moment protocol, the one you'll use when heat rises and you're tempted to pop off. First, catch it. Name what's happening. I'm feeling anger. Heat in my chest. Jaw tight. Labeling recruits your higher brain and dials down reactivity. Scan your body. Where does anger show up for you? Forehead, throat, chest, stomach. Say quietly, I detect anger. Noted. That simple line keeps you on the balcony, watching the scene rather than getting pulled into it. Second, create space. Anger often comes as a 90-second chemical wave, unless you feed it with catastrophic thoughts. Let the wave pass. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6. Again. Lengthen the exhale to signal safety. Choose a micro delay. I'll respond in 2 minutes. Let's circle back in 10. Tell yourself, I can respond well when the wave passes. You aren't avoiding. You're preparing. Feel your nervous system downshift as your breath deepens and your pace slows. Third, reframe the story. Ask, what else could this mean? Most friction comes from mind reading and certainty. Try this. If I were them, with their constraints, what might I be doing? What's the most charitable, plausible explanation? What evidence do I actually have? Say, alternate story. They're rushed, not malicious. Data check. I have one rude sentence, not their entire character. This isn't about letting people off the hook. It's about unhooking yourself from a story that punishes you first. Fourth, view from above. Zoom out in time and scale. Imagine drifting above your street, your city, your country, seeing the planet lit at night, billions of lives, each with joys and storms. Now move forward 1 year. Will you remember this moment? Should you? Let the event shrink and your values expand. Your time is finite. Don't donate minutes to minor irritations. Ask the time test. Does this matter in a week? In a year? When the answer is no, your urgency melts into perspective, and perspective is anti-anger medicine. Fifth, choose the virtuous action. Act not to vent, but to move things forward. You have options. Clarify. Just to be clear, did you mean X? Set a boundary. I'm happy to discuss this without insults. Ignore bait and put your attention on the next step. Send the draft, fix the line, make the call. Ask a better question. What problem are we trying to solve? Keep your voice calm, your sentences short, your ask clear. Choose the smallest, bravest, fairest next move. You're not trying to win the argument. You're trying to improve the situation. Sixth, release the outcome. You've done your part. You measured success by process, not payoff. Ask, did I act with wisdom? Was I fair? Was I courageous? Was I temperate? Say it. I controlled my choices. The outcome is not mine. Then return your attention to the next right action. This is how you keep your center, no matter what anyone else is doing. Let's practice. Hear the line in your mind. Can you even read the brief? Fix this mess. First, name it. I detect anger. Second, breathe. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6, 4 rounds. Third, reframe. Alternate story. They're under deadline pressure. Fourth, view from above. In a year, this moment is nothing. In a week, we'll forget it. Fifth, respond calmly. I saw your note. Happy to fix specific items. Please list the sections you want updated. Let's keep messages about the work. Sixth, release. I acted with clarity and temperance. The rest isn't up to me. Notice your body now quieter, steadier, focused. This is the practice, and repetition will make it your default. Now go proactive with Stoic tools that make you nearly untriggerable. Start with premeditatio, malorum, pre-rehearsing annoyances. Expect them, plan them, and they lose their sting. Picture tomorrow with vivid detail. Traffic that crawls, a meeting that starts late, a blunt message that lands rough, a slow checkout, a neighbor who's loud, a last-minute change, a forgotten promise. For each, script your response in one clear sentence. When the line is slow, I'll breathe and practice patience. If the meeting derails, I'll ask, what's the priority? When a rude message arrives, I'll wait 10 minutes and reply to the content, not the tone. By expecting annoyances, you turn life into training. When they arrive, you greet them like a drill you designed. Use contemptuous abstraction to break the spell of status and ego. Reduce things to their basics. The luxury car that cuts you off? Metal, plastic, rubber, a moving light. The nasty comment? Vibrations in air, pixels on a screen, a human in a moment of clumsiness. The badge of status? Cloth and dye. When you abstract an object or a situation, its glamour fades and your irritation dissolves. Say, this is just a screen and some pixels. I decide its meaning. With that sentence, you take your sovereignty back. Practice role reversal and compassion. Most people think they're doing good, even when they're clumsy. Ignorance, habit, fear, and fatigue drive most bad behavior more than malice. Try stepping into their shoes. If I had their pressures, their beliefs, their sleep, their history, might I act similarly? Compassion isn't weakness. It's clarity. It helps you respond to the person's need, not their noise. You can be firm without being hard, and helpful without being a doormat. Remember memento mori. You will die, not to scare you, but to sharpen you. How much of your finite life will you spend in irritation? Picture your last day. Would you trade an hour of peace for a minute of outrage? Of course not. Let mortality trim your pettiness. Ask, is this worth my life? Almost always, the answer is no. This is not resignation. It's prioritization. You spend your days where they matter. Journaling and voluntary discomfort are daily strength training. Each evening, write 3 lines. The trigger, the judgment you added, and the better story in action you'll choose next time. Keep it to 60 seconds. Small course corrections compound. Add 1 voluntary discomfort to raise your threshold. Take a cool shower. Choose the slow line on purpose. Leave your phone in another room. Arrive early and sit with boredom. Walk when it rains. When you practice discomfort on your terms, unchosen discomfort bothers you less. Your tolerance grows, and anger finds less to hook onto. Let's get practical with common triggers and clean scripts. When insulted, remember, that's their opinion, not your essence. Your self-talk. This is an opinion, not a fact. My character is up to me. Out loud, you can acknowledge and redirect. Use light humor or disengage. Try, I hear you're upset. Let's stick to the issue. Or, with a smile, ouch, that was spicy. Now, back to the point. Or simply, I'm not available for insults. Choose the one that fits your values and the context, then move on. You are training people how to interact with you by what you respond to. Interruptions and delays are training in patience and clarity. Reframe an interruption as a chance to practice calm. If needed, set a gentle boundary. I want to hear you let me finish this thought. Then it's yours. When delays hit, execute Plan B, a reading cue on your phone, a learning playlist, a breathing practice. You don't control the delay. You control the use of the delay. With that one shift, traffic becomes a classroom, bureaucracy becomes a meditation hall, and waiting rooms become libraries. Traffic and bureaucracy are classic preferred indifference. Build them into your day. Leave a buffer. Have a podcast ready. Carry a small book. Or use the time to breathe and check in with your values. Sit tall, relax your jaw, unclench your hands, lengthen your exhale. Instead of arriving frazzled, you arrive steadier than when you left. The external stayed the same. Your internal did not. Online comments and DMs can yank at your attention, but you set the policy. Don't feed trolls. Decide in advance. You discuss ideas, not insults. Give one reminder if you choose, then mute, block, or disengage. Say to yourself, I respect my time. I don't reward hostility. Your attention is a currency. Spend it on what compounds, learning, relationships, meaningful work, not on spirals that burn 2 hours and leave you with nothing. With family and coworkers who push buttons, aim for values over victory. Use the broken record technique. Calmly repeat your boundary or your point without heat. I understand you disagree. I'm not discussing this when the tone is hostile. Or, I want to solve this. I won't do it by blaming. State the calm consequence. If this continues, I'm stepping away for now, and I'll return when we're both calm. You aren't punishing. You're setting conditions for productive conversation. You're shaping the relationship by what you tolerate, what you reinforce, and what you step away from. When promises break or things are unfair, separate person from behavior. Seek just action without hostility. Document facts. Clarify expectations. Escalate through proper channels when needed. In your mind, split serenity and courage. Accept what you can't control. Act on what you can. Say, I'll be firm and fair. I won't let anger decide for me. Calm is not surrender. Calm is stability under pressure. Boundaries don't need anger to be strong. Keep them calm, clear, and specific. Use this frame. When X happens, I feel Y I need Z. If that doesn't happen, I will Q. For example, when meetings start late, I lose time. I need us to start on time. If not, I'll leave at the 30-minute mark and reschedule. Or, when jokes target me, I feel disrespected. I need us to keep it professional. If it continues, I'll step away from the conversation. Make the request, name the consequence you control, and follow through quietly. That consistency teaches others faster than your volume ever will. Know when to disengage and when to escalate. Ask 3 questions. Is it safe? Is this a pattern? What are the power dynamics? If it's unsafe, disengage immediately. If it's a pattern, set firmer boundaries, and if necessary, escalate through appropriate channels. If power is lopsided, document and seek allies. Your dignity is not negotiable. You don't have to win every conversation. You do have to keep your self-respect. Pursue justice without hostility. Focus on process, not payback. Speak to behavior, not identity. Use facts and procedures, not insults and threats. Hold standards without hatred. This keeps you effective, protects your health, and models a better culture. You can be a force for fairness without becoming a furnace of rage. Build daily training so calm becomes your default. Each morning, preview the day. What could annoy me? How will I respond? Visualize it calmly, like a pilot running a checklist. Name your likely triggers and your chosen scripts. As you do this, you lower the surprise factor and raise your readiness. At midday, run a micro reset. Breathe with a longer exhale for a minute. Relax your shoulders, soften your gaze, widen your perspective. Ask, what's truly in my control this hour? That tiny pause recalibrates your entire afternoon. Each evening, do the 3-line journal, the trigger, the judgment you headed, the better story and action you'll take next time. Keep it brief and honest. Then choose one weekly challenge in voluntary discomfort to expand your tolerance. Take a cool shower. Choose the slow line on purpose. Walk without your phone. Sit with an itch without scratching. Arrive early and do nothing. Take a view from above walk. Look at the sky and remember your place in something vast. These practices harden your calm without hardening your heart. Avoid common pitfalls. Stoicism isn't suppression or apathy. It's clarity plus courage. You're not a doormat. You're principled and firm. You do set boundaries. You do take action. You just refuse to let anger decide for you. And if anger is persistent, explosive, or tied to past trauma, add professional support therapy, coaching, or medical guidance. Strength is getting help when needed. There's no shame in upgrading your toolkit. Let's anchor everything with a simple, portable protocol you can run anywhere. First, control what's yours. Your breath, your words, your next step. Second, pause to create space. 1 minute with a longer exhale is often enough to keep you from saying something you'll regret. Third, reframe the story. Look for alternative explanations that reduce blame but preserve responsibility. Then act with virtue. Wisdom for clarity, justice for fairness, courage for directness, temperance for restraint. And finally, release the outcome. Measure success by whether you lived your values, not whether someone else clapped. You can start small. For the next 7 days, choose one minor annoyance per day as your practice ground. The lukewarm coffee, the slow loading page, the person who doesn't reply. Run the 6 steps. Name the feeling, breathe, reframe, view from above. Choose the virtuous action, release the outcome. Write 1 line about how it went. At the end of the week, notice how much less grip small things have on your mood. That change is not imaginary. It's physiological, cognitive, and behavioral. You are training the circuitry of calm. Keep one mantra at hand. People don't make you angry. Your assent to a story does. You are the author of that story. Write a better one. Keep another line nearby. Calm isn't passive. Calm is power. It is the power to choose, to focus, to move things forward without burning things down. Imagine a life where delays are training, insults are opinions, traffic is breathwork, and disagreements are opportunities to clarify and connect. That is not fantasy. That is practice. When the next surge comes, because it will feel it without flinching, tell yourself, an impression has arrived. I don't have to believe it. Breathe longer on the exhale. Ask a better question. Choose the smallest, bravest, fairest next step, and let the rest go. With each repetition, your mind trusts you more, your body calms faster, your relationships stabilize, and your outcomes improve. This is how you never have to get angry or be bothered by anyone again, not because the world behaves, but because you decide to.